All right, here we go. All right, so let's look at yesterday. If you look at yesterday, we caught this pattern. I said before pre-news, we had major resistance at 1320. News came out on unemployment claims down here, all the way down here at before 8:30. I said all the way up here was the major resistance at the 20. Well, that caused an Elliott wave high. Now, here's the easiest way to find an Elliott wave and the big patterns. We caught the one yesterday, 2 in a row, and we caught the one this morning earlier, and I'm going to show you how to do it. The easy one's a spot that's not very hard for us to understand is, let me skinny that chart down for the whole entire session. If you look at your previous low, I mean the session low or the session high, if you look at the session low or session high, here was a session high for you early morning traders. The easiest way to find an Elliott wave pattern is this, is if I have a recent high, that's a 1, or a recent low, and the easy ones are the session high, session lows. So if you get a session high or session low in any market, it's a really easy way to find a third wave, your largest Elliott wave. So there's my session high. Then the best way to know that the session high is going to possibly hold for an Elliott wave is if you get a big, giant, fat red triangle, if you're looking for a sell. Once you get a big, fat red triangle, that's going to create a wave 2 counter up. Now you're looking for your trade. The largest wave on an Elliott wave is called an impulse wave, is a third wave. It's called a 1, 2, 3 pattern. And I'm going to get you guys pros at doing this with JaySignal. It's really easy to see in all markets. After the wave 2 comes in, you're going to know it's a possible wave 3 pattern if the price stops between 62 to 76% retracement. It's actually 76.4. This is my zone I look for on the way back up. You can see it stop right in the zone, and we got the arrow for the huge short. This created, right here alone, almost a $700 trade, just like this on one contract. That's a 1, 2, 3 setup. That's early on in the session. All right, so that's a real easy way for you to find a 1, 2, 3, 3-wave impulse pattern. Look at the session high, session low, really easy to qualify. Hi, Steve, good morning. Now, if you look at the low that came down here, we never got a retracement, so that's not it. That's a number 3 long, right? But it just never had a low to give us an actual 62, 76% retracement. But the next one did. Check it out. I said 1320 was resistance before the news came out. News came out. News rallied from 1312 to 1321. As anticipated. We set a session high in here. Now we set a session high. We know the rules. Wait for JaySignal, give me a big fat red arrow. Get a big fat red arrow. Now I know I'm into a possible wave 3, 1, 2, 3 pattern short. Hey, Mirko, good morning. So what I want to do is look at this leg and take your Fibonacci tool, take the swing high, the swing low on wave 2. If I get back into 62 to 76.4% retracement, that's my 3 pattern. Imagine that. Nailed it. Then we come into a 5 over here, which actually a 1 started again. Then we start a wave pattern at 5 again. What happened was here's a recent high. Recent high comes down, and you can do it even without the fat red arrow, just on retracements, if you get the arrow that starts it out. There's recent high. There's recent low. Comes back up. There's your 3. There's your recent high. There's your recent low. There's your 5. That's a 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern again. I said my target is 1313 on the trade, and both arrows are actually 3 arrows in a row called JaySignal out. 1, 2, 3. Remember, arrows automatically come up for entry. Remember, the arrows should dictate an Elliott wave. The easiest ones to qualify are the session high, session lows. Now let's look at this morning's trade. Another beauty. Check it out. Let's skinny the chart down, look at the entire session. Here's my session high. Beautiful. Session high. There's my big fat red triangle. Can't get any easier than this, right? Boom. So what I want to do is I want to see if I stop between 62 to 76% on retracement. Imagine that. 62, right at 62%. And consequently, I touch my symmetry dots and my market profile, my own dot on my own charts. That is a textbook wave 3 pattern. How much should she go down? You know it, over 100 ticks again. Over $1,000 trade, when you got a maximum $150 loss, that's the second day in the row it's had the same exact trade setup. Same exact trade setup. Just by taking the session high or session low and looking for J signal on the wave 3, right? There's a 1, 2, 3 pattern again. The 1, 2, 3 patterns I'm going to get you guys very, very clear on, because if you can understand a 1, 2, 3 off a previous high or previous low with the J signal, you're really going to do some serious work in the room on catching these 1, 2, 3 patterns. 1, 2, 3 patterns I learned about a long time ago. Actually learned about it in the late 1980s when I was looking at corn and soybeans. And I started looking at commodities. And that's when I first learned the 1, 2, 3. And I needed something really to hit home with me to find out where the Elliott wave was, because where I screwed up on the Elliott wave, I didn't know which high or which low to take it off of. Well, I've learned that the previous high, previous low day is really easy to look at, but you can even screw that up because it can take out that high or take out that low. Who's to say this isn't the low, this isn't the low, this isn't the low? That's where Elliott wave technicians screw up, because there's a lot of subjectivity to Elliott wave. So what I've done is I've incorporated into the big JaySignal trend change. If I see a big trend change, it tells me I'm a possible wave 2 up into wave 3. And then all you got to do is look for what? A 62 to 76% retracement. I got over almost 600 traders around the world trading this, my proprietary setup that has my zone trading just like this off my ebook, off of news events. Just like this, exactly to the exact bar. And it's a 1, 2, 3 setup off the news events. 1, 2, 3 setups, or you can call it ABC patterns. You need to call it a 1, 2, 3 ABC or an impulse wave 3. They're all the same pattern. I want you guys to get very familiar with this, and I'm trying to teach you the easiest way to do it. And the easy way to see it is off a session high, session low. And when you get good at it, you just look for a recent high or recent low. There's today's, here's yesterday's. And this is called pre-market before unemployment claims comes out. Remember, every Thursday, unemployment claims comes out at 8:30. I told you about that at 8:25, 1320 is major resistance. So when you come into a new high and major resistance, if you're trading gold on unemployment claims, let's say, then you know if you get a 1, a trend change, and a 3, you know you got a great one, right? Plus that was with trend. Those were really good Elliott wave patterns. But even then, you can see if you get an arrow to start it out on a 1 pattern recent high, you got good 3 and 5 waves down all day long anyway. So that's the easiest way for me to show you on how to do Elliott wave. Okay? Hey family, take care. It's the easiest way to do on Elliott wave patterns. And the easy way is let JaySignal, trend change, and then you're good to go. But don't be taking scraps like this, guys. If you get a big wave 3, it goes down 120 ticks. We know we're going into an ABC pattern right here. You don't trade this when the arrow, you don't trade that. That's not a pattern. That's not a pattern. You know, so there's a right way and a wrong way to trade this. The right way is for a 62 to 76% retracement off the wave 3. The best way is a recent high or recent low. That's the easiest way to do it. And if you haven't fallen a good 80 to 100 ticks, 60 ticks, you're possibly going to be searching for a wave 3 coming. Because the wave 3 is the largest wave in the Elliott wave that's been working since 1930. Same pattern.